Hello, hello, hello. Believe I am alive now. Just going to grab this tweet quick and pin it for when that hits. There we go. We're up. We are up. Live now. All right. Happy Monday. Back to 0 to hero at the normal time and day of the week. Monday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Zook will be popping in a minute when he's done with his stream, talking about two Zed Run horses, Big Drippo Ruby and Phantom Agent. A pretty small window of time between weeks, so we are technically week 4, episode 4 right now out of 10. So next week's episode will be the halfway point of the season. Yeah, that's how that math works. And we'll give you an update then. Zook is trying to go for profitability, I saw. So pretty pumped about that. I hope he gets it. He's starting to get some profits. I'm going for more of a discovery angle with my horse. So it's going to be, a little different approach, but it's also a very different horse. A Z2 versus a Z13. For those of you that are just tuning in, welcome those of you who popped in on Twitch. Thank you so much. Hey, Darthside. What is up? I'm assuming that's got to be Remy. Zed Stabler, you doing? Won't be happy until Wednesday when I get my shoulder surgery done. Ooh, Stabber, sorry to hear that. Hope it goes well. Be thinking of you, man. Keep me posted if you feel like it. But very, very sorry to hear that. So our last episode was on Thursday. It's now Monday. Big Drip ran about 10-ish times. I can't sit in the computer chair. Oh no. Stabber, I got a Talent 9 crypto runner for 0.03 the other day. I was pretty pumped about that. Well, I hope that whatever's ailing you gets better soon. I hope the surgery helps, and I hope you recover quickly, man. I'll definitely be thinking of you. That is not fun at all. All right. So didn't run too much. Hey Panda. Oh gee, what's going on? How you doing, Panda? So yeah, let's show some love for Stabber in chat, ladies and gentlemen. So since the 3rd, which is right down here, all over the place, a lot of mid and some higher finishes. So, there was some talk, hey, run 16, run 18. Someone from chat mentioned that. And we're getting some flames at 16 and 18. And some second place. I can't. This horse refuses, like its mom, refuses to win, and that is so frustrating. A few times, I just want to see. Oh, we got a race coming up right now. Actually, Big Drip running in 20 seconds. A few times over the course of the weekend, went up to Class 3, but very quickly bounced right back down to Class 4. So that's kind of reassuring in a way that, hey, I'm not going to get stuck up there, which is nice. We got flames at an 1800, so let's see what happens. This is a live race, ladies and gentlemen. A live race. Calcified tendon in the left shoulder. Ouch. See, I'm not sure if this sound will come through. We got a really nice faraway angle of the horse butts taking the scenery here. So let's see if we can pull out a win. And some of those races that I ran, the horse was going, like, especially in like class 3. Let's see if we can isolate the specific ones. But I had, with about 100 meters left, I was dead last, like multiple horse lengths behind, it felt like. And then just zoom ahead. Like, this horse refuses to lose. Absolutely refuses to lose. What's up, Low Budge? How you doing? Still looking for a job. Things have been pretty good. Glad things have been going good for you, Panda. Glad things have been going good for you, man. All right, so let's see. Where are we? Where this pack is tight. All right, now we're starting to spread out as to be expected. As to be expected, about the halfway mark, we're spreading out a little bit. Big Drip chilling, just chilling. Fresh Zombie. Watch out for Fresh Zombie. Fire Breath, I'm a little concerned. Though I may end up eating my words. See, it looks like we're just we might be pretty content just in the middle. The other horses definitely seem to be going a lot faster. Here comes Fresh Zombie making a big push. Come on, Big Drip. Come on, Big Drip. It just doesn't have it. Nice run, Fresh Zombie and Fire Breath. Gonna hold on to second, possibly? Yes. Big Drip with Flames finishing ninth. Story of my life. This horse is so mid. So mid. But you know what? I love it. I love you anyways, Big Drip. I love you anyways. Fresh Zombie. That's kind of a cool name. Just Ash. I like that name. Sub-Zero. Oh, and it's the blue color. How is Sub-Zero? I hope that's an old horse. As if so, someone got a steal of a name with that. Steal of a name. All right, so Big Drip. So yeah, if we go back and look at some of these races. So at 18, there was a 7th, an 8th, a 5th, 6th, 2nd. And then at 16, 3rd, 2nd. We'll just swap over here. By the way, if you didn't catch the update, I now own the URL zetalytics.com. So you can visit the site. It'll take you right to the homepage, right to the Zetalytics page, just by going to zetalytics.com. Big shout out to Haku. Sold the URL to me. He actually had it. It was kind of cool. Very rare, but I guess kind of expected someone in the Zed community would have it, but is willing to sell it to me. So very grateful to Haku for that. And yeah, so looking at Big Drip, 16 seems to be doing a little bit better than 18. And I have this sorted by first through third percentage right now. 26, there's no data, and my arrow chart is showing that this horse is still incredibly mid. There's one outlier at 18, which I think is skewing things a bit, a class 4 free. But if you look at all these, they're all pretty tight. Excuse me. Oh man, all this carbonation's getting to me. So 20, like looking at the week ahead. One, this wasn't a full week, so I want to give more attention to 16, 18, and 2000. Although 2000's kind of shaping up, it's even across the board, across 6 races. Looking at the, again, somewhat normalized speed, 1,000, which we kind of had an idea was going to be pretty good. And then 26 is showing some interesting numbers. Zook, the man of the hour, is here. Let's get him up. How you doing, buddy? Welcome.
Good. Can I go pee real quick?
Of course.
Thanks. I'll be right back.
No, my stream, my rules, you cannot use the bathroom. Pony Raid, what's going on? Thank you, Crypto Sonar. Appreciate you popping in. Yeah, numbers just popped up. We got 63 in the house. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Zero to Hero, Season 3, Episode 4, where Zook and I talk about our 2 horses that we bred, starting them from breeding all the way to 10 weeks worth of racing. Zook's is a Z2 knock. I have a Z13 Buterin. So I'll wait for Zook to come back. We'll talk about his horse. But again, for those of you that popped in, you can now access my website through zetalytics.com. I've made some updates to performance. So the initial load will still take a little bit of time. It should be a little faster. But once it loads up, typing in a horse name, hitting enter, yes, there will be some processing time, but it should be significantly faster than it was before. So super pumped about that. Thank you, Veggie Dave. How you doing? I'm doing great. How's everyone else doing tonight? Anyone in any big races? any special horses, would love, love, love to hear about it. So again, talk about my horse week ahead. Plans 16, 18, 2, and 26 just for fun. Because if we look at the Big Drip O'Ruby's mom, Super Chic, the mare, she is pulling, I think she is. I might be thinking of Gold War. Oh, yeah, she pulls flames like crazy at 2,600. Got one running in the mids for the pity. Nice try, guy. Love it, love it, love it. So if we look at 26, 8 races, did pretty well, 2nd through 5th. So I might try. I'd be curious to see. Watch this just shit the bed and be super slow right now. Curious to see what Super Chic looks like at 26 on my site. Hey, welcome back, my friend.
How you doing, sir? I'm drinking so many of these Wegmans sparkling water.
Oh, interesting. I'm drinking a Origin sparkling water right now.
Oh, there you go. Do you have Wegmans near you?
I don't think so.
What do you have, Wawa?
No, we don't even have Wawa.
What's like your big like
Grocery store chain?
Yeah, like what's your high-end grocery store chain?
Oh,
Publix?
Okay, so we have Jewel, I have like Sendix back home in Wisconsin, which I don't have because I think that's just
I've never even heard of those.
We've got like Whole Foods.
Okay, Whole Foods, yeah.
Why can't I think of the name of it? Yeah, it used to be, I think, like Century, and now it's something else. Yeah, we got Piggly Wiggly. I shop the pig. I've been known to shop the pig from time to time.
That's like a Wawa Wegmans type thing?
I don't think so. I think Piggly Wiggly's just like a standard place. Yeah, I'm in the Chicagoland area, Crypto Sonar.
What's Piggly Wiggly? Piggly Wiggly's American supermarket chain in the American Southern and Midwestern. Okay.
Oh, Metro Mart. That's what I'm thinking of. Or Metro Market. Woodman's. Yeah, got Woodman's. Thank you, Veggie Dave. That was on the tip of my tongue. Brett Smith is in the house. Let's go. Dropping corgis.
I noticed him. He was there when I popped in, too. Really? I think so.
Maybe I'm sure I don't see him. Was he in yours? Was he in Pony Plug?
Yo, I think I saw him earlier today. I think he was just doing. I think he was.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. He's like a you spread him now to me.
It's a virus, the corgi virus. Well, welcome, Brett Smith. 3 corgis if you're having a good night, 1 corgi if it's not a good night, and we'll go from there.
or like 4 corgis if you're in trouble, like and you're somewhere that you need help, and like this is the only way you can communicate. And you've been trying to get MJ to save you with Morse code for weeks, and he just hasn't been paying attention to the number of corgis.
Okay, so 4 corgis if you need help. Ooh. So I was we'll wait for Brett Smith to respond, but I was just out of curiosity comparing. So I talked about where I was going to run. My recap of the week with Big Drip, ran 16, 18, bumped up to class 3 a few times with some 2nd and 3rd places. Oh God, it's 5 corgis. What does that mean?
Oh God. See, I don't know Morse code.
What? Yeah, can we Google this, please? Of Morse code for like 5. What does that mean? Someone translate that, please.
Google.
So yeah, like I bump up to class 3 a few times, came down pretty easy. Given the short week, I want to run more more 16, 18, 2000. But I was also looking at 26 because it's showing something. I don't think it's going to be great. I think it's still going to be pretty mid. But
Yeah.
Super Chic, Mom had some interesting 2600 performance, second through fifth finishes only in like 5 or 6 races. So I was like, yeah, let's kind of roll the dice. There could be something fun there. I don't think it's going to be like win rates or anything, but could be kind of fun. All Elite Racing says 5 corgi heads equals 20 tiny legs. Feel like we're talking like Shroot bucks.
Yeah.
5
legs.
5 corgi heads equals steal the Declaration of Independence. Is Brett Smith Nicolas Cage, and are we in the next National Treasure movie?
What a great movie. What a fantastic. Nick Cage has some bangers. You ever see the movie Next?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
What is Next about?
Next is like he can like see what's gonna happen next before it happens. And like no, it's yeah, Nick Cage got some. He's also got some weird stuff. Like I think he's got like an octopus and like dinosaur bones, and like he spends his money on a lot of weird stuff. That's why I think he has to do a lot of these weird movies because he needs to get paid. But no, he's got some bangers.
Gone in that wasn't even English. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Death and Loathing in Las Vegas too. He's got some good movies. Nicolas Cage. No, I love National Treasure. That's a really, really good movie.
Oh, so good. So good. I've seen them all. I love them all. But yeah, I think they are doing another one.
National Treasure?
3 or 4. Yeah.
I mean, I guess if it's a cash cow, I could see it be Con Air, as well. I could see it being like Disney Plus.
I could see that. I don't care. Milk it. Milk the franchise.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They gotta do what they gotta do. Subscribers are low, probably.
Yeah. So I've got my plan for my horse looking at next week. Short week. How is Phantom Agent going for you?
It was a tough week, but just a week that you're gonna have when you have a horse like this. We made about minus 0.01 profit. So our profit kind of cut like in half overall, but that's just what you're going to get with this like slow grind horse. We're going to like lose 0.01 to make like 0.02, 0.03, to lose 0.01, 0.015 to make like 0.013 again. It's just the trials and tribulation of a horse that is very, very tiny EV in paid racing and ran some paid racing. Like not too much, like 15 races in the entire week. So it wasn't running like crazy. And we'll have many, many weeks like this. But again, we're set with it that is what it is. So like never would a week like this stop us from like, we're going to run this horse the same way next week. And I could easily come here next week and we could say like, oh, this horse like won a quarters and came in third in the semis, and now it made like 0.04 this week. And when we look at like what we did, we probably wouldn't have done like anything different. Like this was just a week where we ran some paid, even when we were flaming 10th, 8th, 10th and free. Like we can catch a week where we go like 2, 3, 1 in free and C1. And when that week happens, we'll see that we probably made some profit because we got into a tournament that week. So it's a down week, I guess, but in no way skews any future plans that we have with this horse. Keep it at distance, which is going to be marathon. Sprinkle in paid if we think we can get in with the field, because it's shown to be, it's not going to, I don't know if it's EV positive, but you could have fun and paid and probably not lose money, and could potentially in each and every tournament make it. So this was a week where it happened to not make any tournament because it rolled bad and lost some of its paid. It's okay.
It's gonna happen.
It's okay. Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, and I'm excited. Actually, not excited, but I think it'll be cool for the show where like next week, like we're legit gonna run this exact horse the same exact way, and I'll look at like the report I'm looking at now, and I see that this week we were win percent of 6 negative 0.01 profit. We're going to run the same distances, the same percentage of paid, the same percentage of free. And if this said 13% win with 0.025 profit, that just goes to show, like, I didn't do anything different the 2 weeks. You got to be consistent with this game, and you got to think about sample sizes, and 1 week of samples isn't enough. And Kill a Cow, you're not the first person that I've heard say that. You're not the first person I've heard say that.
That's interesting. Before we dive into that, I put some respect on Kingpin Racing. 5 corgis smiling, 4 horses running, 3 streamers streaming, 2 tourneys running, and a Facundo in a pear tree.
That's funny. That's funny. And so took effort, so bravo, Kingpin.
Yeah, that's applause worthy. So you've heard that from a few people this week. Weird rolls. Any thoughts, ideas as to, is there anything to it? Is it anecdotal? What's anything going on behind that? Like, have you had any like deeper conversations or like theories around that? Excuse me. Or because for me it seemed very somewhat predictable. But I'm a very mid horse. So I'm not expecting crazy rolls. I feel like my rolls are going to be more normal, I guess.
I didn't have any of my specific horses it happened to. And so I don't really know what type of weird rolls, but I've had like over time, like weeks where I thought rolls were happening weird that I really think like sample size is like astronomical that we got to talk about at the end of the day. Like even when we're like 200 races in, like we'll start getting some real numbers like 10,000, 50,000 like races in where we'll be able to tie the stats pretty exact at that point. But when we're talking about like even 250 races, I just think you're going like really small sample where you can go like 25 races without winning because like over the course of 100,000, that 25 is going to look so small that it's not going to even move it like 0.01% either way.
Right.
And like everyone's had those weeks. Like I'm sure you've had those weeks. I've had those weeks.
Oh yeah.
And now Kill a Cow's having those weeks. I think you just find different people at different times. Like you're just the one that's hitting that side of the sample. That there's enough people playing this game that at all times there's people that feel like there's weird rolls going out. And it's like what baseball players do. There's really honestly nothing you can do except keep on going. But the one thing I can say is I'm not currently in any slumps right now. And any slumps that have happened with my horse in the past have turned around just by running them. So I feel really comfortable in saying it's just a sample size and timing thing with things like this.
I'm gonna flip to share this screen. I agree with that completely. So like one of my things on my State of Zed for this reason exactly, because when people like flipped out about the algo changed and they didn't announce it, I view this as like my seismograph.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at let's say percentile 75 of speed over 3 months, April, May into June.
Oh wow.
Your average. Here's your standard deviation changes, and then here's your bottom 25 percentile. And so yes, they're going up and down, but if you look at 59.89 versus 59.92, that's tiny, not a huge deal. There is a level or degree of normalization on these speeds. So it's like, to me, I'm not seeing anything that's like really standing out to me of like the seismograph isn't going crazy right now. It's not registering anything too bad. And also just like the average horse positions over this time frame is following pretty much the normal expected values that I would see. So nothing too crazy going on there.
And this sometimes happens when there's an influx of new horses in the ecosystem, and we can touch on this. I was talking about it with Keith. Like the stud sniper has really injected that back into the community where it's creating that liquidity where now more and more people are breeding with those higher end horses because they're being notified. And there's tons of people that like they have the ETH for like a minimum NACA if it's like a really good one and are willing to try and snipe it. That I think there's just been a pretty good influx of higher end breeds over the course of the last week or two where I think the racing ecosystem is just getting harder. So there may be some people that had a horse that got introduced into like an easier ecosystem. And right now and over the past like 2 months, every single day, the ecosystem is getting gradually and drastically harder. That if you have a horse that got introduced like right before that timeline, some of them just can't hang now. And every single day, it's legit getting much harder and much harder because there's not much segmentation going on other than the once a week, very segmented, either one breed or a few Z number tournaments that like it becomes very, very tough for some of these to hang with every day more and more people being selective and the horses that are bred being of higher quality that some you get phased out and some just have a short lifespan. And that's why you got to figure out if a horse is good now, run it until it really can't run anymore, and then figure out a breeding plan for it.
Yeah. And that's a really good point too. Like your point about it becoming slightly more challenging as more horses come in, people get better about breeding. Are you talking about the Twitter account, the Stud Sniper, or the Zed Stud Master?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That created a lot of liquidity because now people know 5 minutes before. Like when I was streaming, I had a deal. We had a deal with Pack, and we were doing perfect cadence and Dank, and he put
Nice.
perfect. I don't know why I did this. He put perfect cadence in for minimum, and on the stream, Redman commented like perfect cadence in for coming in for 0.081, and like I didn't click on it. Like I moved on because I didn't want like anybody to see it, but it's cool to get. If you really think about it and we just take a step back and you want the long-term success of Zed, something like this is really, really good for it because it gets the top blood, aka good horses, gets more spread out. The more spread out good horses get, the more people are willing to stick around. And some may say, hey, if there's like too many people have good horses, it gets diluted as to like what a good horse becomes. I don't buy that. And I also think segmentation is coming where there's going to be a place for like more and more people to carve out niches. But yeah, I think stuff like that is important for people to pay attention to. Or even like I know if you have a plan and you put a horse out there and you want to get all three studs and you don't, it like sucks to think that your asset isn't controlled. But where you lose me is like that's just the game. And like I know people say play for the future, but not so much. That's like with metas, not so much with like rules. Like know that there's no private breeding, know that everything's on chain and people can make stuff like this. And when you're making a purchase, don't then like freak out. Like if you can't get all the studs, like no, if you buy a male and you're putting the value on it, like things can get taken off it. And I think everyone's got to realize that when you're putting it in, All Elite says it. There's a price that you can set that makes it private breeding. It's just like, are you willing to pay that price? And we were looking at it before. Secret Strategy got all three studs taken for 1 ETH, and they made 1.7 ETH in stud fee this month. Like as much as it sucks to get sniped, some like with those higher end horses, it is nice to collect that money sometimes. As much as you want to hold on to it, like if you get to collect those stud fees, it's a free horse, which is cool.
It is, and you get like the winning of that, 1 point with that 1 ETH over the course of a month. Like that's going to be hard to replicate in racing.
What you just said is perfect, and the way I put it is collecting stud fee is infinitely higher EV than any horse you breed in this game because stud fee is automatic plus ROI because you're legit making money. And as we know, the average horse in this game as it stands is negative EV right now. So honestly, as much as it sucks because you're losing the chance of that lotto ticket, like every single time you collect stud fee, you're kind of making the better economic decision over keeping that breed itself because you're most of the times not going to achieve that amount, which is like an interesting thing to think of, but it makes it a little easier where if like you only collect 2 of 3 and you get sniped on one, hey, that's some good money coming in.
Right, exactly. There's definitely upside in a way there. And to kind of the point of breeding and tying into this, as more horses come in and people breed better and we get access to better breeds, through sites like, or the account like the Zed Stud Master, just looking at this, some of these numbers are going up. It's small increments, but they are going up. Extrapolate this out across 6 months. That's going to push horses out.
Yeah.
And so it's in a way also kind of showing like, hey, one, not any crazy like algorithm change or anything's happening, but slowly, gradually, the competition is getting harder.
And as the top horses, Keith said, someone tweeted this, as the top horses go up higher and higher with that premium, as people are trying, like, because that's what people are going to ultimately end up doing, right? To try and keep it themselves. That makes the bad Genesis that have to get listed at the floor that much more appealing, because as you do that cost benefit analysis, hey, if one's getting posted for like 0.15 and the floor is 0.08, you're much likely to attack that 0.15 if it's like 3x the horse. But if 3x the horse is then being now priced for 5x the price, that makes maybe that Z1, quote unquote, even though no Z1 is glue, that Z1 glue that's being posted at floor,
Sure.
that much more appealing. So maybe those that aren't filling now start to fill. So I really think this stud sniper is going to do wonders for the market in its entirety.
I like it. I haven't used it,
Oh,
but
either
I
have I.
love
I'm
what
just
they're
too
doing,
lazy.
and yeah, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Like, I don't, all my breeds are kind of like planned out. So I'm never really looking to like snipe. Anytime, because I'm just like gun shy at this point. Because anytime in the past I've seen a really good horse, like, and I didn't even snipe it. Like, maybe I was just looking on this because I don't know how to use any of that stuff. But maybe I was in the stud farm and the horse popped up and I was like, oh my god, it's out there for a little bit. Or like I saw a tweet and I forced a mare to breed with it. It always turned out bad. So I no
Right?
longer do that, and all my good mares are like planned for. So sniping is just not my thing, but I'm not against it at all. It's just not in my game plan, but it should and is, and I don't mind in a lot of people's game plan, and it speeds up their ability to go from being a small stable to a big stable. And anything that does that that isn't like illegal, I guess I'm pretty much for.
Yeah, I am too. It's I just feel that path is very murky still. That's not necessarily a bad thing or a problem.
Murky is a good
Um,
way to put it. Yeah.
which is tough, but that's also that can be part of the journey, or like a fun part of the journey is trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's the economy, the ecosystem. It's at a very interesting point right now, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, one thing that I'm trying to get very, very good at, no matter what game or whatever I'm talking about or whatever I'm streaming, not to publicly say anything like bad about it, but like I openly hysterically laughed when I saw those new tournament prize pools. Did you see those where like
I
you're making everyone makes $1 or $2? I saw that and like I was like, this is hysterical, because from like an actual standpoint of where I genuinely feel bad is the first round is the time where people make upsets. It rarely happens in the semis. So now they're taking away that good payment that people can make in the quarters, because if they
right.
get first, a lot of times they get shit pumped in the semis. And it's like you might as well just came in 12th as in first in the quarters, because you get paid $2 no matter what. It's like another like just like crazy. It's like what? I was literally dying when I saw it.
I was made aware of the announcement, and I did not look into it any further because the conversation immediately went to like have fun with your quarter.
Yeah, it's
And
like who like are people gonna grind for that? Like $2?
I think some might. I really do.
I guess what Hawkward says is true. I think it's supposed to be for noobs, new horses. I think they want pros to move to paid. Like they want to make freeze so unapp, and like Hawkward, where I like that is when the game is in its final form. I think that's what freeze should be. There should always be freeze, but it shouldn't be like the way anyone quote unquote like makes a living. Like, yeah, maybe you can make positive EV with it like over time, but like very small and always there so people can like have fun with the game. But I think the overlying should be small pots, things like that. But like right now, everyone like built it for tournaments, and it seems they're doing as what you're saying, and then that's a whole another meta switch where we got to start breeding for paids, and as we know, breeding for paids gets back into pumping more variants into stuff, and then breeding 1.0 horses become more valuable because they have more variants. So
Yeah.
I'm not even against it as much as it's. I guess I'm just looking to see how long they stick with this, because if they do stick to these twice a week tournaments with low payouts, it is going to push people back to paid. I got to think.
I hope so. I miss old paid.
Yeah, same. Like I remember, like when the first 6 months I played this game was just like the lowest I was ever doing was $2.50, like minimum. Like everything I was doing was paid, and I wasn't like thinking about it at all. Now, like when you do a paid, it's a special occasion almost. It's
Right?
like, oh, I'm doing a paid. I stumbled upon $2.50 worth of ETH in stud fees. I'm gonna put this
Yes,
horse in
I
a paid
will order
race.
dessert tonight.
Yeah, I made the quarterfinals. I made $2, and now I'm racing paid tomorrow.
Oh god, that would be so depressing. To think you have something in a horse, do that, win that, then go and just get smoked and paid.
Yeah,
Ugh.
Strawny brings up a good point. Like it's tough if you're in these lower classes. It's tough. Where I found some value C2 runners where C2 pops off enough, and you can find enough races without killers that has been a sweet spot for me. But if you're really not finding that, obviously everyone knows C1's a nightmare if you don't have a C1 killer. 3, 4, 5, 6 paid like does take a decent amount of time to fill up, and like Strawny's saying, it's a lot of the same horses, so it's tough out there. So maybe this does rekindle it, because I guess people will start thinking that they're they'd rather lose that $2.50 than give up, the hours that they have to give up to race for $2 potentially. So
Sure.
we'll see. Yeah, race generation,
Ugh.
Lacey. That's true. That's true. The one thing I need at least for the last
Jeez.
hour of every tournament, every single distance should be available in every single class.
Why not? Why
Like that
not?
should be always, but like at least a blitz for the last hour, where if anyone is trying to get in and qualify at the end, like you should never, if you're waiting for the race to go off, you're waiting in the race. Everyone should have the exact distance that they need at any point in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, paid is become such a just fancy class opportunity to Hawkwart's point. Don't want to lose money. We need paid to be weaker.
Yeah,
We need paid to
and you know how you do that, and it's juice prize pools is the only not the only way, the easiest, but also the most difficult, because obviously you need money or some type of asset to give away. But yeah, how do you get people to be willing to do $2.50? It's where the EV is incredible, because they're doing 1.5x pots or even 1.25x pots, where you start looking at the ROI in terms of that, and it's better for you to race paid, where they juice those prize pools so that ROI goes up at the same time, where you make less in these dailies where those kind of crisscross each other, and people start doing the cost benefit analysis where paids become better, because we all agree like we're all in this weird phase, because you're saying it, MJ, Hawkwood's saying it, everyone in the chat is saying it, like it's like we are willing to race paid if we think we have a chance. Like we're not willing to fork up a $2.50, a $5 race, but we're all smart enough to like, we're not going to do it if we know we have no chance of winning. But if we have an okay fighter's punch at like
right.
an equivalent chance of winning, we're all enough degens that a few times a day we'll toss in some paid racing. And as long as we all like do it sporadically in a decent amount, like consistently, that fills it up and that gets the ecosystem going. But we're just not going to do it when we know we have no chance, because that's silly.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like I have some very mid horses that used to be able to compete in paid.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to make tons of money, but I could, even if I lost, it was still fun
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
like, if I was down 0.02, but like I still had so much fun running those horses.
That's paying for like 0.02 over a long time frame is like you spend a lot more to do have a lot less fun doing a lot quicker things than like if you can have a horse that you really like and you only lose 0.02 over like a few weeks or a few months, like that's fine for me. Like people say make money. My goal is, and again, it's kind of the same thing, but it's just a different way of looking at it, is to not lose money. Break even paid racing, just like Strawny is saying, is a ton of fun because you're winning sometimes and you're not losing enough to go into the negative where it feels bad. Where yeah, if you're break even, kind of like Phantom Agent is kind of that horse. I bet you by the end of this series, it'll be like a perfectly break even paid racing with consistently kind of placing in tournaments from time to time. But that's fun. Like a C1
Yeah.
racer that doesn't lose money. Hey, I guess that's fun in this game because when you do win that C1 race, it feels really, really good. There's not much better than winning a paid race because it's the instant gratification of the winnings right away.
I think, yeah, it's like going to a casino for me at least, and I'm gonna sit down at the the penny slot. I'm not going to the high roller, and I'm gonna put in my penny, and I'm only gonna do one line. I'm not gonna do the crazy 10 line, and I'm gonna pull that, and I may win one, I may lose $10, I may win $5, but I'm gonna have so much fun over a long period of time doing that.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Lacey, I don't disagree with you. Don't disagree with you. But like that's how I kind of liken the experience. Here's kind of a concern or something just popped into my mind. From Zed Stabler's comment, they could make paid more fun and diverse. Throw in a couple $5 Zabo only and Buterin only. So I love that idea. I love that direction. But my concern is Zed is too diverse now for conditional racing unless it becomes super, super conditional. Reason being, there are monster Buterins, there are monster Zabos, there are monster Z2s, there are monster Z20s. And yes, you're kind of trimming the fat by like doing conditional races of Z, blood, breed, what have you. But I think we're past the point of no return where there's just still too many killers in too many different segments for it to be truly as effective, unless it's like a class 6 only.
And
um,
yeah, and segmentation's tough for Zed because like even if you look at it through breed types, they can't have a situation where they have like elites or pacers and crosses making more than Genesis. So when like you do that sort of segmentation, you can't drive that home. Like you still need the best horses making the most money. So I think that's kind of why they've shied away from complete segmentation because like if you can get elite that in the elite segment can make more than Genesis do, I think that's kind of bad for the game because you do need Genesis. You can't have other breed types having the potential to make more. I think the small things that you can do is maybe you have like the Genesis class open every day, like with a daily going on when this is in its free form, or like legendary goes on like 5 days and then exclusive 3, and then maybe like the lower ones 2 or 1. So that's how you kind of separate the value. Like maybe the elite still does a lot better in the elite than the Genesis does in the Genesis, but the Genesis has like 7 days at it, where like the elite only gets like 1 a day at it. But I know that's their biggest concern because if you make it exactly even with segmentation, that could really dry out the Genesis horses.
100%. 100%. Speaking of drying out, I'm a little bit parched right now. And Zed Stabler brought up, hey, but at the casino you get free drinks. So let's take a minute to talk about drinks.
Oh, yes.
How do you feel about the Budweiser pass?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if you know this about me, but I don't drink. Um,
Okay.
I haven't drank in like 3 or 4 years, so
God, good for you, man. That's
it's
awesome.
it's no, like for me, it's like Budweiser's like a great company. Um, but I also look at it and it kind of sucks because like if there's a Budweiser tournament, I'm not going to be on like stream like if someone crosses the finish line like slamming a Budweiser. And I get like for a Budweiser brand, that's like something that's like kind of cool. Like I'll probably like pour it on my head or like something like
Sure.
that. But like I do get that for the vet, like it's more valuable for people that drink, obviously. So like for me, like if you want to ask me personally, it's probably like literally the worst um personal advertiser because I'm not going to go in for like the free round of like yearly beer, like whatever like that. But as someone who's invested in Zed, I think it's one of the best partnerships from that side of things because I'm just looking at Zed long term, and Budweiser is one of the best companies you can literally get for something in Zed space that I'm not naive enough to not think it's like super, super, super great for Zed. And even though like it doesn't work specifically for me and I'm not going to enter into any of its things, I'm strongly, strongly, strongly for this partnership for the growth of Zed.
I think it's huge. I I'm not big into NASCAR. I'm starting to get into Formula One.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, I've seen your tweets. I love them. I
Yeah.
love them. And so like this to me is more appealing. Drinking aside, Bud is not my favorite beer. Um, but it's my favorite beer joke. Um, and I think it's more in a way might reach just a larger audience, a different audience that I don't know, it seems more approachable. I with the NASCAR pass, we got the skins, but like what am I going to be able to do with that? Like I feel like you can do more with Budweiser than you maybe could with NASCAR.
Yeah, yeah, I I agree. I think Budweiser has to have more world what like I think it has more appeal. Like more people are fans of Budweiser than NASCAR, obviously, because Budweiser is worldwide. That also just like we all see NASCAR as like something in a bar. Not NASCAR. We all see Zed as something that's in a bar where people are out, like on the
Yeah.
TVs there, like that kind of vibe. The next thing, and the thing that we always got to focus on, and like the importance of getting these sponsorships is like how do you convert it? Like, and the big thing is like not teaching people about like the horse racing. The tough thing about this space is like blockchain. It's like as cool as people that like see Budweiser posting the really like it's so awesome what they were posting. Like it was cool as hell. I watched it like a few times today, but
Yeah.
like you got to teach those people to get a MetaMask, to get Ethereum, to convert it, to buy it. Like there's a long process from someone being really enticed by the videos that Budweiser and Zed releases to want to get involved to them actually getting involved. And we got to figure out is Zed one or two is the community doing things to ensuring that that conversion happens? Because ultimately that's the part of advertising, right? That's the point of it.
Yeah.
Like getting new people on, getting exposure. So hopefully, Zed continues to do more things like the social, being able to log in with your social media was a start, but still getting people introduced to MetaMask and money through Coinbase or however they want to initially get it is kind of the next step once they do get all these extra eyes on them.
Yeah, Lacey said only 2,500 passes. I don't think they announced how to get them yet, outside of just join the Budweiser Discord, which is it seems hilarious to me that Budweiser has a Discord, but I kind of love
it. That's so. But every like, and it's funny because I saw the Budweiser guy tweet about it today. Like he's the head of like their digital presence, like all these like that's the shit that makes you feel that this space is real. Like high end, like real companies are at least starting to take the bet on the space by hiring. Like they're taking the bet on someone's salary, like whatever that cost is, that they're hiring people to now get involved in this space. When you start seeing that like Budweiser legit has someone that like their only job is digital brand partnerships for a company that Budweiser, that's a beer. There's nothing digital about it. It's legit the least digital thing, like going out to a bar with your buddies, grabbing a beer, having a good time, like not looking at your phone or anything in the virtual world. Like they're looking for a digital presence. So when stuff like that starts happening and you get exposed to that through partnerships like this, it makes you bullish on a lot. It makes you bullish on Zed plus the space in general. And this can kind of be, I guess, a segue if we want to go there, where like Zed, it's as important for Zed, like the space in general to survive as it is like for Zed. Like Zed can't do it by itself. So like, there's other games and stuff coming out. And I know something that me and you both kind of looked into just this weekend that one, I just want to like, it's this really weird thing. Like I got so excited for this, like, and it's photo finish. And I also got like more excited for Zed that like, I wasn't like fully like I was going back and forth this weekend. And when I was focused on photo finish, I was super excited. And then when I kind of burned out from photo finish, I raced my horses in Zed and was qualifying for tournaments. And then once I got bored of like qualifying for like an hour straight, I went back and did photo finish. And you really see this thing that I've been preaching. I know you've been a main component of preaching this. Other games coming out will do wonders for Zed. I love playing MLB The Show more when I have NBA 2K and FIFA because I just play the show specifically when I'm in the mood for it. I've been playing Zed for the past year, even when I wasn't specifically in the mood for it, just because it was the only thing I was invested in and the only game out there. When I can start playing and other people, you, whoever's in the chat, can only play Zed when they want to play Zed, that's going to make it so much more pleasant. My God.
It's going to do a lot. I've got the photo finish site up. I was talking to Doughboy about it earlier today, and
he's obsessed. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's Zed is, arcadey.
Yep.
And photo finish is going for more of a realism route. And they're both horse racing, digital horse racing. But they're very, very different. And they approach gameplay and performance very, very different. And to your point, like, yes, these can both exist at the same time. They have different user base appeals. This is on Solana, which, but it's on Solana. It's all, we all grow together is my favorite saying. And, you brought it up. I think I saw you say this in their Discord the other day, is like, you should do something or play something that you like, that you want. Like, there's no reason why you can't do one or the other.
Well, there's no monopoly on fun. There's no monopoly on fun. Yeah,
exactly. And okay, so fingers crossed. Here's the biggest kind of dream is that when more horse racing games come out, if they do, Photo Finish just entered their beta. I know there are a few other ones out there. Maybe that's going to split some time, to your point, between traditional Zed people. They start diversifying a little more. Their horses race a little less. Competition might get a little easier. The game becomes more accessible. And then more people are enjoying Zed that maybe wouldn't have previously.
Dude, I'm so with you. And let me just give everyone how my weekend went that I had a ton of fun with. I put my photo. You can only race your horse like once or twice in a day. So you have to be very, very careful with it. So me and Doughboy would spend some time looking for the specific race in like the next 12 hours. We would find the race we like. We would look into our horse, talk about it. We'd put that race in. For the next 12 hours, I was playing Zed, like having fun, doing the tournament, blah, blah, blah. And whenever I either qualified the horses I needed to qualify or didn't qualify any of them or burned some out and didn't run them and was downclassing them, then I went back to my photo finish race and had my photo finish race happen eventually. Then after that race happened, me and Doughboy would talk again. We'd put a race in for like another 12 hours when we would wake up. We'd do that, look in the photo finish Discord, talk a little bit. Then once we put that horse in the race, back to Zed, playing it again, like going for the next tournament. So what you said is the perfect way to describe it. Zed is so much more of like the arcadey, like let me put horses in some free races. Like I can do probably 5 races in a half hour if I really sit there and just focus on like one horse. Where like photo finish is like you're spending that time that you put your horse into 5 races to pick that one race because you know how important that one race is. And a lot of the things that we talk about with photo finish appeals to that like real in real life horse race type person where it's not you don't race 7 times in an hour because that just kind of doesn't happen in the real world.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you can like just because you like one doesn't mean you have to hate on the other.
No.
Like I've been very vocal on some things that I don't like with Zed, but that's because it's Zed. It's not because I'm saying XYZ is better or worse.
Yeah.
It's try and keep the game within the lane. I may draw comparisons, but try and keep the game within the lane.
No. I like me liking photo finish also makes me more bullish on Zed. Me liking TRV also makes me more bullish on Zed. Me seeing other people like there's going to be some people that don't like Zed and don't want to play, but if they then go like TRV and play TRV, that's indirectly good for Zed because other games holding up the P2E space with them and showing that it's real helps hold up
100%.
Zed in turn. So like, and Zed's not going to be for everyone, but we just need other games to catch their eye, and that will in turn help Zed. And that's why I tell everyone go out there, test these other games. And I know I beat that analogy to like a pulp, but I always compare it to like I would not have a PS5 if I only enjoyed one video game. I enjoy them
God,
all,
yeah.
and that's what makes me get the video games. So I think you're more likely to stick around this space if you find a bunch of different games that you like and want to play. And it's starting to come out. I think the Footium beta is launching again pretty
Yeah.
soon. I think Front Yard Baseball is starting to launch pretty soon. So it's really just a fun time because, again, I experienced it this weekend when I was just doing Zed, when I was in the mood for Zed, which you don't lose. I'm still doing Zed every single day.
Right.
Makes it a lot more enjoyable, like infinitely more enjoyable.
I'll be doing a stream sometime, probably not this week. Maybe this week, but not on my usual Thursday time or next week about my photo finish experience thus far, my horse buying strategy. I think I got a fun horse for a really good price.
I like went in with a certain bankroll and like I was gonna do it like should I split it up into 3 decent or should I just go for one beast? And I just went for one beast and she's good. I'm still getting used to like the rhythm of like one race a day really.
Sure.
Because like when it's something so good you just want to freaking run it.
You're right.
But you can't do it in this game. But no, me and Doughboy are talking to the CEO on Wednesday.
Nice.
I guess I'll plug that. Yeah, he was in the Discord today answering a bunch of questions, and honestly, we're probably going to regurgitate a bunch of those questions, but it's more going to be just an hour of. We're also going to be watching the beta races, which I'm sure like the aesthetics behind those races. My God, I can watch those races like all night, so it's going to be fun to kind of watch them with him, pick his brain on different things. I've been listening to some of the stuff that he's done, and I'm excited to follow up with some questions about it. He was the Madden creative director from 2010 to 2012. So,
which was a great time in Madden, by the way.
Yeah,
a great time in Madden.
Yeah. But I do want to ask. He did put Troy Polamalu on the cover on 2010 because that was one of his years, and Troy Polamalu did fall to the Madden curse. So I do need to ask him about that, and if he does believe in that, and if he had any players reach out to him specifically to not be on the cover, because I know that some have in the past. But no, it's gonna be a ton of fun, and me doing. Everyone's gonna have some fun, and everyone's gonna start going into these other games. And the best part is when you make friends. Most of mine, which I made through Zed, and now you're playing these other games with them, and you have other topics of conversation with them. It's fun, and no one's going anywhere from Zed. Zed's still a ton of fun, and I'll still be playing every single day. But I suggest everyone looks into these other games because I know
100%.
most of you, and I know that a lot of you have different interests, and the thrill I get from these other games is very similar to the thrill that me and MJ I think get from Zed, and we both are very very happy and having a ton of fun with some of these other games, and we'd only recommend these games that we have fun with. So I think we're both
Yes.
having
Yes.
decently fun with photo finish. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of like why I wanted to the whole thought behind my Thursday night streams was let me show you the other games that I'm playing, the other games that are out there, the different angles that they provide. 2112 talk about like narrative story, it's cyberpunk, you're hacking, you've got crypto raiders, you're dungeon raiding it with pixel art. Paranormies, you're just being ridiculous on these quests, like and just to show people what else is out there. And yes,
yeah,
these are all things that I like, that I play, and it's really exciting. My favorite part about my Thursday night streams is when someone messages me after and says, "Hey, loved the stream. This game looks so much fun. One, can you either help me get in it, or hey, I just got my first NFT from it." Like, I absolutely, absolutely love that.
no, that's a great feeling, and yeah, it's we're not doing anything crazy. It's more like, hey, me and MJ like Zed, you like Zed, me and MJ like this, maybe you also like this, and maybe you don't. And if you
Right.
don't, like, it doesn't bother me at all. But I'm going to suspect that we kind of both like this game, and I found another one that you may like. So let me show it off to you. And at the minimum, we'll always try at least to find ones that are somewhat entertaining from like a content standpoint. And I think a lot of these early games at least have that, whether it's the horse racing games, obviously the racing's fun, or the TRV has kind of the fights, or some of the other ones have different quests and things that you have to do to collect, and more strict P to E that maybe people don't know about. That it's all just fun in this space, and these newer games coming out kind of reminds everyone that they are games, and if you're not having fun with them, there's legit no point in doing them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. All right. We're just past the hour mark. Good to wrap up. Anything else you want to cover tonight?
No, it was my plan for Phantom Asian this week. Again, we only ran marathon and we lost 0.01. Again, we're going to only run marathon this week, and I'm very, very interested to see what happens. It could legit be anything next week. So we'll take a look at that, and I hope it shines a story on that. When you have a formula that works over the long run, you don't let any 1 week analysis or performance kind of break you from that. But we'll see. Maybe I have an even worse week. And again, I'm going to sit here and say the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing again this week. Because when you have something that works over the long run, 1, 2, 3, we talked about bad rolls earlier. You just got to hit your way out of the slump.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. I'll be running 16, 18, 2, and then 26 when it pops. One close out before we sign off. Zed Stabler says, I think it would be cool if you could just use your Zed horse somewhere other than just Zed. As an example, you go to Zombie Site, do a specific race. Zed would still make all the breeding fees, but gives the horses more utility and allows the community to create new games through Zed. Is that even possible? I think they're going to kind of do something like that with party mode, where you get to set the rules. You get to set, okay, 6th place gets 10 points, 1st place gets 0 points. You get to kind of establish the parameters within Zed. Now, you can't necessarily take your Zed horse to another metaverse and run it and expect it to run like it does in Zed, because Zed has that code, that algorithm, that performance. So it would still have to have a direct tie into Zed in some capacity. But, party mode's coming. We'll have some flexibility. They've talked, I don't think this is coming anytime soon, but of having your own tracks. And so it's not technically a different site, but yes. And yeah, this is a great time to bring up BG's game.
Yeah.
that he has coming out. The name is escaping me at the moment, but I know he's going to be utilizing Zed
Zandyland.
horses. Yes, Zandyland, Zed horses in some capacity. I don't think it'll be an actual full custom race
No, I don't think
Hawk
so.
but it's a way of doing
Yeah, it's
of
fun.
interacting with your horse differently.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun, and yeah, like you were saying with track ownership, that will be like interesting in the future. Um, on top of like you were saying with private racing, the next step of that is kind of track ownership, and again, that'll probably be like on Zed per se, but it will give you a lot more customization and the ability to you become the event planner and like you like who knows, like we talk about like virtual land, like who knows if you get like a virtual track that you end up throwing these crazy events and like you're able to drive up so much value for that you have this crazy valued virtual horse racing track that if you know we're putting value on like sandbox land and other decentraland land. Who's to say a horse track that you're able to prove you can provide very high recurring revenue from isn't a highly sought off property as well? So I think a lot will come from that, which will be fun. But yeah, I don't think anything like that in the short term, like MJ said, Zed Stabler.
Yeah, but still some exciting things on the horizon for sure. All right. We'll get to sign off. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. We'll be back next Monday, same
Yes, sir.
time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Week 5, halfway, turning point. Coming home after that. Thank you, everyone. Zook,
Peace
pleasure.
out,
Thanks for
brother.
coming on, man.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See ya.
Peace.